Hey, parents and furrins, welcome back to the Happy Dash podcast. Today we're going to be talking about dog-friendly breweries and taprooms. Hey guys, Chris here, and I just wanted to know, have you ever taken your dog to a local taproom or brewery lately? We had a chance to do this with Dash a few years back, because at the time our good friend Kyle worked at a brewery called Track 7 here in Sacramento. And Kyle always wanted to meet Dash, so we figured what a great way to meet up. We put Dash in his little purple cart and we headed off to Track 7. This was our first time bringing any of our dogs to this kind of environment, so obviously we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how other dogs would react, we just didn't know. But when we got there, Dash was in his cart, and once he strolled through the door, his neck was up, with his chest popped up, and he loved every minute of it. He loved all the attention. But we know that's not the case with every dog, and that's what this episode is all about. As you probably already seen on our company Instagram, we've been in and out of local tap rooms and breweries, showcasing our dog goods and accessories, in which a portion of all proceeds that are made at those events go back to pet organizations or the local Sacramento SPCA. And because of these events, we get to see a lot of dogs and their owners and how they react in this kind of environment. And for the most part, it's actually been pretty good. But you'll always get those two dogs and they go after each other, but I think that's kind of a given. You have to prepare yourself for that. And this is where our dog Aussie comes into play. Aussie is actually Dash's dad. He's completely different. Dash loved all the attention. He couldn't get enough of it. But Aussie doesn't like attention, or too much of it at least. He's completely fine at home. He's fine with our other two dogs, which is Dash's sister and his mom. But when you put him in a different environment like that, where all the energy is in his face and there's just nowhere for him to go, he doesn't like it. He gets super protective, and he's actually barked at other dogs very aggressively. It's a little bit embarrassing for the owner as well, so we decided not to take him to breweries anymore. It's just a little bit too much for him. But I do want to say that, our friend Kyle, he does work at Sackyards now. And Sackyard is a great place for the community and beer drinkers. It's also a great space for dogs. The facility has an inside and outdoor space, and it's huge. It's perfect for dogs. It's almost like an adult dog park. That's what I think of it as. But the question I have to ask is if a brewery or tap room is right for you and your dog, no matter what brewery or tap room it is. You always have to think, all these breweries or tap rooms, they're all going to have different energy. We've been to multiple tap rooms and breweries over the past couple months, like Bike Dog, Addie's, Sackyard. All of them have different types of people and dogs that go to those breweries. And, all the locations are a little bit different. Some of them are smaller, some of them are big, like Sackyard. I honestly believe that that has an effect on the experience that your dog is going to have at these local tap rooms and breweries. Another factor here is the dog owner. The dog owner should set their dog up for success and not failure. Failure in this situation is really easy to get to. But as a dog owner, we have to take the necessary steps to make sure that our dog is comfortable going into an environment like a tap room or brewery. My suggestion always to somebody that asks me if a tap room or brewery is dog friendly is to call the tap room or brewery. They'll let you know if they're dog friendly. They might, even ask them a question like, are you slow? When are you slow? When are you busy? When are your busy days? Take your dog there on a slow day. Take your dog there on a slow night and introduce your dog to that environment when it's slow. Let them get used to it before you kind of just put them in a situation where they might not be able to handle it, and you just never know what can happen. So always set your dog up for success and not failure. But this also goes to other people at the tap room and breweries. As a dog owner, you can do everything in your power to make sure that the experience for your dog at a tap room is great. But you don't know the people that are going to be there. One thing that I've been noticing as a big trend at our most recent events is a lot of people at these breweries will just go up to a dog and not ask for the owner's permission to pet the dog. That is a huge mistake, because in my eyes, if the dog bites the person that pets the dog without having permission from the dog owner, then the person that dog bit, that's their fault. It's not the dog's fault, it's not the owner's fault, it's their fault. You should always ask the dog owner if you can pet their dog or even interact with the dog. You don't know that dog doesn't know you. You don't know how protective that dog can be. In those kind of environments, dogs, if they're not comfortable yet, they're just in protect mode. They're uncomfortable. You always have to ask. Just always make sure you ask, because whenever I see that happen at a brewery or tap room, I kind of prepare myself for the worst to happen. Not that I've ever experienced that, but I think it's just common sense. Always just ask the dog owner permission if you want to pet their dog. Normally the pet owner will either say yes, or they'll just tell them, probably not a good idea, but always ask. At the end of the day, all we want to do is have a good time at a local tap room or brewery. And all we can do as dog owners is to make sure that our dog is comfortable in the environment that we're putting them in. Make sure that they have a good time so we can have a good time. There's so many more factors that I thought about, but I didn't want this podcast episode to run on and on and on for an hour or two. So this actually might become more of a series. Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Who knows? There's a lot of factors when it comes to bringing your dog to a local tap room, brewery, restaurant, or any other location that's out there that's dog friendly. So just stay tuned for future episodes in this series. And before I end this episode, I just wanted to take a few minutes to shout out a few people that we've met over the past couple months at the events, organizations, and everything that we've done recently. So yeah, I just wanted to take a few minutes to say thank you to Bark Happy. We did an event with them last month at Bike Dog. We're also going to be doing another event with them later this month, or at the end of the month on the 29th at Sackyard. If you need any information on that, that will be at shophappy-.com. Also wanted to send a quick thank you to David Garibaldi and Chatty for meeting up with us about a week and a half ago. We were able to meet up with them at a local dog park, and we gave all their fur babies a custom tag. So thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. We also want to send a quick shout out to Jessica and Christy at the SAC SPCA. They are the event coordinators. They're our contacts for whenever we have a new event coming up, like a Yappy Hour that we were at Ease Brewing in Sacramento. We're also going to be part of the Doggy Dash in April. So we're really excited for everything that we're going to be doing with the SAC SPCA. And we look forward to having more donation events that bring in more funds to SAC SPCA in the future. Also about SAC SPCA, make sure to check out their links on our website at shophappy-.com. They have monthly events at local breweries and taprooms, and they're called Yappy Hour. We were part of the February Valentine's version of it, which was called Sappy Hour. That's every month thing that they do, and they rotate through different breweries throughout the area. So they're a lot of fun to be a part of. They have 2 hours dedicated for mobile adoption and 2 hours dedicated for the Yappy Hour, Sappy Hour, Happy Hour event. And that's where vendors and companies like us get to be a part of it with them. So check them out. And last but not least, we met Patty of Leash and Collar Sacramento. Great person. She makes custom leashes, collars, and bandanas for dogs. You'll love the bandanas. You'll love everything that she does there. She has some big things coming up in the future, and we're also going to team up with her on a few projects as well. So make sure to check her out at leashandcollarsacramento.com. But it was definitely great to get behind the mic again to make another episode. We have another episode coming up this Friday, so stay tuned for that. And until then, keep dashing forward.